Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Amanda, and in this video I want to say a few words on clarifying the understanding of love. So the other day I made a video on why loving yourself first to attract the person into your life is not a requirement for manifesting a relationship or for manifesting a specific person. Now I do want to say that all our affirmations and our self-concept affirmations are the number one thing to create everything that we want in our life, because obviously we want to have a good, genuine confidence within ourselves. But the main requirement when it comes to manifesting the desired relationship that you want to maintain and sustain in your reality, from my own interpretation anyway, is cultivating that trust within yourself. So when you come into this strong strength of trust within yourself, you will find that you show up differently. So even if you're someone who doesn't practice things like self-love, or even if you're someone who doesn't practice affirmations or meditations or breathwork or anything that you are doing, if you are someone who has this real strong in-depth trust within yourself that you are always okay no matter anything that is going on outside of you, you will find that it is easier for you to attract people, places and things into your life in the way that you desire, because you're not needing the validation outside of you, but you're also not you're not in that kind of state of thinking that you can't have what it is that you want. So usually when we get into this kind of state of not believing in ourselves or not having confidence in ourselves, is only coming down to the lack of trust that we have within ourselves. And when we don't actually have this sense of real strong strength of trust within ourselves, it's more difficult for us to trust others and to trust everything that is going on outside of us. So one concept that I wanted to bring up when it comes to romantic relationship is the concept of falling in love. So when you think about falling, you normally think that there is nothing that you can do when you are falling. You can catch yourself, yes, but sometimes when you are falling unknown to yourself, when you just completely fall, you don't catch yourself in time, and then you maybe hit the ground. And this is kind of the same concept that we can be looking at when we are falling in love, because love is eternal and it also has no rules. So this is why there are no conditions when it comes to love, because there's no rules when it comes to love. We know ourselves when we are affirming for specific outcomes in our life, when we are creating relationships, we are making assumptions about relationships, changing our beliefs about relationships, and we're building the confidence and strength and knowing within ourselves about relationships. But when it all comes down to it, we have to have that ability to allow ourselves to fall into vulnerability, to fall into our authentic self, to fall into being able to communicate with our partner in a way that is confident and trusting, to allow ourselves to create boundaries with our partner if we have to allow ourselves to accept our partner as they are as well too. Because remember, when we are manifesting for a relationship and we're manifesting for specific people or new people, there is a level of understanding that everyone is elevating in consciousness here. And while there is only one consciousness, we do have to come to an understanding that sometimes some of us are a little bit elevated more in dimensions, in ways that we think, in ways that we know, in ways that we trust, and that we're a little bit more aware than others that we are communicating and interacting with in our 3D reality. Now, we can see people in the way that we want them to show up, meaning that we can affirm for them in a different way, and we can continue to believe and trust and know that this is the way that they are now. Remember, there are infinite potentials and realities and versions of all of us. And so all we are doing when we are actually manifesting a specific person or new person into our life is selecting a version of what it is that we want to experience. And this is what we do with our thoughts and our visualizations and everything that we are doing to keep our mind, remember, it's a mentality on what it is that we want. So when it comes to being in a relationship, this is why I focus on the nervous system a lot, because you will find that if you have a great regulated nervous system, that you are able to show up differently, meaning that the trust within yourself is more secure. And when that trust within yourself is more secure, you don't have the same negative feelings that make pop up through spiraling thoughts, and you respond differently in the moment, because you're not needing anything outside of you. You're not needing someone to show up in a certain way to know that you are loved, to know that you are deserving of the exact relationship that you want with who you want, to know that everything is all coming from within you anyway, and that you are just elevating yourself to be in these desired realities through the affirmations and through the story that you are telling yourself. So the reason why I created that video the other day, which I will link up here, was because it isn't about, I know that we do talk a lot about self-love and loving ourselves first and having that kind of confidence and knowing within ourselves. And yes, this is a requirement for everything in our life, not just relationships. It's just a requirement for ourselves. But we can manifest relationships and specific people into our life without doing these things as well too, once we are developing that security and trust within ourselves. Everything comes down to how you trust and believe in yourself. And why we do the repetition of the affirmations is to cultivate that inner kind of strength within us. One thing that I do myself, obviously, I always talk about affirmations, but because affirmations are what it is creating, in the sense that it is the thoughts that are creating. Our thoughts are the way that we actually create images, and everything within our mind, it all kind of comes from our thoughts. But however, we do have a certain level of understanding that our body has feelings and emotions that we have experienced before in our life that it can be holding on to. And this is where the self-regulation comes in. So that's why we do the breath work. That's why we do the meditations, because we are calming the nervous system down and releasing all of those kind of negative emotions or traumas or anything that we were holding within our body from experiences that we had before. But when we want to create the relationships with who we want, understand that it's okay not to be 100% positive all the time. It's okay not to do, if you don't feel like doing self-love practices or healing journeys or anything like that, understand that you don't have to do any of that. That is just really for yourself, for developing yourself in a way that you are coming into that sense of trust and security and belief within yourself. So really, when we do things like inner childhood kind of meditations and stuff like that to release trauma, it's only because you're building the trust within yourself to build the security within yourself. Because when we think of ourselves as a child, all we really look for is security when we are a child, and reassurance obviously as well too. But if you ever notice, a child will forgive and forget everything really quickly, because they love unconditionally, they love without conditions, because it's only ever a feeling of safety, and that's all that it is. And it's the same with us as well too. But we create this feeling of safety within ourselves first. And when we come to this understanding that we are falling in love, that we are not controlling love, because love cannot be controlled. There are no rules when it comes to love. It can literally hit you anywhere and you can find yourself falling in love, and no matter how you tell yourself that you're not falling in love, it's that frequency that you just cannot help but align to, that continues to keep you there. And so that is why we have to cultivate the trust within ourselves, the trust to know that we're always going to be okay no matter what is going on. The trust to know that we can create the solutions, the trust to know that love is eternal, and that if we desire love with someone, then we are deserving of experiencing love with a particular person, because that is what we came here to do. It's the trust in knowing that if we do desire a particular person, it's only because that desire within us is meant to be experienced. And so that is why this person is supposed to be someone that we are supposed to experience love with. And this can be anyone. It doesn't even have to be specific. It can be somebody that you just have an idea of, or a partner that you just have an idea of. So It's all about how you are cultivating the trust and that stability within yourself, that you are basically a mountain and nothing can move you and nothing can nothing can actually get a reaction or anything off you when it comes to your 3D reality, because you know what you're creating through your imagination, all the while building that strength and trust and stability within yourself. So remember, when it comes to love, you're falling in love. So allow yourself to fall in love. Allow yourself to be accept and allow yourself to be patient, allow yourself to be kind, allow yourself to accept that you're even in love. Just say to yourself, I'm in love with this person, so what? I'm just going to allow myself to allow it to be, and I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to accept them as they are as well too, and just fall into that feeling of happiness and bliss and abundance, knowing that I'll always be okay no matter what, because I always have that strength and inner knowing within myself and that trust within myself. One of the great ways I find myself is to build that connection within yourself through meditation, but also if you're anyone who is into reading as well too. Now I know we're using our affirmations as well to build our confidence, but for me, I am not affiliated to any religion. I'm just a spiritual person, but reading spiritual texts is a great way to build that strength within you, because it gives you that sense of peace and serenity and security within yourself, that you can trust that everything is always going to work out in your favor no matter what, because it is always working out in your favor, and scripture just reaffirms that for you. But it's the feeling that you get from reading these kind of texts as well too that actually build that trust and knowing within yourself. And so I just wanted to make a quick video on that, and I will chat to you soon.